This is my RX-7, and it has a Turbo K20 swap in it. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy isn't man enough to drive an RX-7 with a rotary in it. And you'd be right.
And they say I'm stupid for putting a 350 in the Dodge Grand Caravan to commemorate Biggie. But they put a fucking K24 K20 in the RX-7.
This car has parts from Honda, Ford, Chevrolet, and even Volvo. I've owned this car for over 4 years now, and it's still far from complete.
So you ruined my favorite car. Thank you.
Every time I look at it, my bank account drains to zero. So I'm making this video to recap everything.
You made a stylish way to ruin my favorite car.
If you share this video enough with your friends, the ad revenue can help me afford the next modification. I've wanted this car for a long time, and it's finally happening. I can't believe it's happening. I'm spending way too much money.
Are you sure this is what you wanted?
This is my new-to-me 1993 Mazda FD RX-7, and this is actually a very special car for me because it's my attainable dream car, and I can't believe that I've finally
you ruined my dream by building
is to take the rotary engine out
blasphemous technology.
That was already done by the previous owner. This was mostly for cost-effective reasons, as it saves me having to run around and source parts. But the swap was
the whole point of a rotary is to own it and fix it every day.
This is the body hardware.
Not to put a Honda motor in it.
To ASM in Wisconsin
like the fuck?
With the K-swap expert, Andy Smedegard.
We've got a K-swap and an FD.
Vin Diesel's turned over in his sleep because of this car.
We're going to pull everything out and try to go through everything. Being a project car that someone else had their hands on, and this car probably hasn't ran for, how long? 10 years, probably? We need to kind
That's
of really
like Vin Diesel having sex with his sister, Mia. She drove an Integra. That's what this car is.
We threw on a new steel baffled oil pan, and as many new accessories as we could to make sure the engine was fresh. With the modified engine cradle out of the car, I cleaned it up and painted it to make sure that it wouldn't rust.
You're worried about rust?
With the engine ready to go, we fixed a few issues on the transmission and got it put all back together and back in the car.
On a wild fucking rust-proof chassis already? When you hear of an RX-7 rusting, especially in FD,
we needed to get this car to operate first before we could improve things. But I couldn't stand to look at
Did you touch the brakes, sir? Did you upgrade the brakes?
To get some fresh coilers. So we were here.
What tires are you running? Please tell me you're not putting stretch tires on the RX-7. Why'd you keep it blue, bro? It looks good in blue.
The oil pan was hitting the steering rack, so we had to make some more modifications.
So we just
cut the frame to run the K20.
The steering rack bolts on. We just cut that and moved
How are your welding? How's your welding?
Just a little
Is your frame modifications gonna hold up when you hit a pothole in Pennsylvania?
Until you start a fresh build. Some of it is nice to have, but some of it is required.
There's so many things with the motor swap that take a lot of time, and we kind of got a little head start having some of this stuff already done for us.
We spent all this time and money to ruin the structural integrity of a supremely well-balanced chassis. Just to have a reliable motor and a lot of power to it.
Some of it was cosmetic, but most of it
You
was
ruined the whole
just to get the car to
ownership
run.
concept
We'll focus on making it
of an
nice
FD.
I am removing the fuel pump to put a bigger fuel pump in, like you do with most builds.
More fuel, more fuel. You sound like a diesel fuck, bro.
We installed a functioning fuel pump, put working brakes in the car, and then Andy showed me some of his wiring witchcraft skills to get the engine harness connected to the car and the standalone ECU. The The engine ran, but ran terribly. We
I
found
wonder
a really
why.
strange leak in the intake manifold.
Could it be because you're running a piggyback system?
TGR stuff sits?
This is what makes buying someone else's project difficult. You don't know what's wrong.
Dude,
until
you
have it
fucked
put
it up.
together.
What you mean
And
someone
I talked
else's
about how it would make it
project?
easier to start a project like this from scratch, but there's no going back now. Phase 1 was complete, and the car
You
was
should have
all
kept
properly
it
assembled.
blue.
I left the car with Andy for the next couple of weeks to work on the body harness wiring off camera. The engine technically runs, but there's still a lot of wiring work to be done before this resembles anything like a working car. There's my beautiful FD outside. Oh, it looks so good out there. Yes. So good to see this thing again.
It does start, and it runs on its own, and it does move on its own. We've got working headlights, working turn signals, all the interior stuff's back and working, the windows, the wipers.
Oh,
all
heaven
that stuff.
forbid the windows don't
list
work
is still
in an
definitely
FD.
long.
Like, that's your most significant problem. Now, if you own a Mark IV Jetta, you just fucking take a hammer to the windows and just hope your interior isn't leather.
Extra work that needs to be done to this car. It's easy to look at it and see that it's running and driving and thinking, what else is left? I mean, it's running and driving. What more could you ask for?
So now we're kind of just starting to do the base tuning, get all the basic engine stuff kind of set up, make sure the VVC's working, the fans. all that
VVC,
stuff.
do you know how to
There's some
time
stuff on
VVC
standalone
without
we can
using
set up
cam
from
gears?
Scratch, essentially.
Electronic
The next
variable
step
valve
is the
control.
diagram.
Do you know how to time that? What measurements of the camshaft do you take to time the electronic VVC? Do you know the measurements?
This is our lowest loop setting. Pack's all working, and we even have the
Especially on a variable unit
the ground one
that's
extra pin.
electro-hydraulical. You know how long the distance and reaction time between the electronics and the hydraulics are? You got a time for that with electro-hydraulic variable valve timing. You think you do it better than the fucking engineers?
Alright, well, I am very clearly back in my home garage now. Got
You're just
the FD
adding more
pulled in here.
air and
What
fuel
we're gonna
to
do
it,
is,
dude. You're not a
the
fucking
bumper. We're taking the
engineer.
fenders out for feed style fenders and a burnout style front bumper.
You're
I
not
wasn't really sure
cool,
what color
dude.
I
You
wanted to
ruined
paint
a
the
fucking
so I
car.
settled for a temporary wrap in 3M Dragonfire Red. I will paint the car eventually, though. It's amazing how much a color change can completely transform the look of a car.
You should have went with a 3-rotor setup.
For the first time with any of my car projects, I'm going to start doing some...
There's no other
performance
motor
modifications.
that should be
Carbon fiber
in an
for the sake of
RX-7
appearance
other
rather
than
function.
fucking
A
rotary.
lot of this stuff is not functional, and I'm going to be the first to admit that. I've never really built a car this way. I'm kind of taking a leap of faith and spending a lot of money on parts.
Yeah,
that
no one's built a
effectively
car that
do
way,
nothing.
dipshit.
This car looks really
You're a
good,
dunce.
and so I want to keep enhancing that.
Without
by
the
putting more
pimples
carbon
and
fiber
glasses,
on. It's
watching
looking
Star
because it
Wars
looks
every
cool.
fucking night.
So we got the wing on now, and we got the diffuser on. I think it looks awesome. I'm super excited. You've
Wow.
probably noticed by now that those are not stock wheels. They're actually loaner wheels that I got from a friend while I was waiting on my new wheels to arrive.
So you spent all that money on chassis modifications and engine swap. You bought used wheels for it. Used racing wheels. You're
but it's very light because
like,
it's forged. It's designed specifically
the
for
fuck?
the FD, so it's an 18x10 plus 50, which is a pretty odd sized wheel. While we were back at AD Shop, we did some more mechanical upgrades as well. We put in a Volvo electric power steering pump and made a new battery mounting
at
tray
least he
for
didn't
the
put
battery
drag
to support
slicks
the
on the
electric power steering pump.
motherfucker.
We put in a
I
new
would've
steering
just
wheel
not
and
watched
swapped
this
out the
show
aluminum
at
drive
all.
shaft for a steel drive shaft and put on a fluid damper on the engine to try to smooth out the engine's vibrations. Maybe we'll turn the boost up. We put a boost controller in so we have a little bit better control over the boost.
Boost controller. How do you time a boost controller? Do you Do you know how to read a turbo map?
Well, we just got the car
Do you know how to measure the volumetric efficiency based off the bore and stroke of a motor, calculating the CFM of the cylinder head, and then choosing your boost pressure that's best for you? Injector timing's important. Like, do you know what you're doing?
New Carotene by Schwarzkopf. This professional.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's throwing parts on the car and typing new fucking numbers into his ECU or whatever and seeing what works. You don't go for the most horsepower. You go for the best volumetric efficiency. You don't go for the richest fuel map. Like the fuck? Horsepower wars is a myth. It's about the driver and the structural integrity of the car and the
$6 meal deal. 2 delicious wake-up wraps. And a medium iced hot coffee for $6 only at Dunkin'.
Man, if that was a 3-rotor, that would be a badass car. The lights work. Oh my god, he got something right. He got the lights to work. With the vacuum, fucking vacuum electric pop-up headlights, which are a nightmare to work on.
All of this was to prepare for one of the most ambitious road trips that we had ever planned to take.
We're going to be driving to every single contiguous state in the U.S., all 48 states.
Did you buy the most brand-focused intercooler, or did you buy the best rated intercooler? Then again, rates are customer reviews, and what are they? So, really, what you gotta do is find a way to test the optional intercoolers for the best cooling. So you gotta check out cars that run similar intercoolers like the RB26, and you gotta see how much horsepower you want to run that intercooler, because the only way to test the intercooler is to compare to other motors. Like, say you want to run 600 horsepower, you gotta look at RB25s, RB26s, fucking 3-rotors that run 600 horsepower, and then you gotta check the air-fuel ratio, the EGTs, what type of exhaust gas recirculation system it's running, because sketch cans are not always the best idea. So that's why people ruin the Eclipse, because they had a recirculating EGR that people deleted. That motor was designed for success, besides it being 6-bolted. Besides crankwalk. Crankwalk's a myth. To me it is. If you put too much horsepower in old technology, something's gonna break. That's why, if you want a high horsepower 4G63, you go for an Evo 8, 9, and 10. Because the metals they used in the 90s are not the metals in the motors that they use today. So that's why crankwalk is a problem. The bearings, what the bearings are made of in 2G Eclipses, they're not anything compared to the crank and bearings in an Evo 8 or 9, or even, sadly, yes, the 4B11.
48 states.
We did it.
We actually did it.
You made a big S2000 and I'm proud of you, buddy.
Well, by now you're probably wondering why the heck I bought another FD.
Because you're an idiot.
I'm not rotary
That's
swapping.
why.
And no, I'm not LS swapping either. I actually bought that car in
LS swap would be an improvement,
I've been
dickhead.
looking for a black interior for my K-Swapped FD since the day that I bought this car, and I haven't been able to actually find all the parts that I need. It's very difficult to find parts of these cars. So it was actually easier for me to buy an entirely new car. I bought it just to take the interior out of and put into this car.
And they say
So I
my
have a
car
full,
builds are fucking
nice
crazy.
condition black interior.
Like, what the fuck? You compromise the integrity of the subframe and possibly, dare I say, suspension and firewall of the car just to run a, what, 600, 800 horsepower K20? Like, you structurally modified the car and made it way more unsafe just to run a K20 turbo.
As well. A
And you're
99
proud
spec
of
steering
it.
wheel and 99 spec rear taillights. With the interior complete, it had actually turned this car into a nice car to drive around town. It was at a point where I actually started to daily drive it. I could give this car all sorts of abuse and it
Daily
just
drive a
but
K20
I installed some
turbo.
drivetrain
Wow,
vibration that
anybody
allowed me to speed
could
out.
do that.
And I also wanted
They
to
run
future-proof the car
fucking
by
20
making it even
passes
stronger
down
to hold more
the
horsepower.
drag
So, it's time for some
strip
more modifications.
with 2,000 horsepower K20s and K24s.
With a Honda?
What you did was not
What do you have in the
impressive.
back?
It was
Ford?
stupid.
What's wrong with that? Step one here is we're gonna get this stock RX-7 diff out, and then we're gonna try mocking up our new.
I have more respect for the 6-second Civic builders than you right now.
These things are going to look like little toothpicks once we show you the axles that we're going to put in this thing.
Okay, so this is an 8.8 rear differential out of a 2007 to 10 Ford Explorer. You can find this literally in any junkyard. Found this one literally 15 miles from my house.
We had Aaron at TRE go through the new rear diff and make it stronger by shop peening and quarter rounding the gears. Then we changed the ratios to a 355 and threw in a
I'm not a
limit
hater, I'm a
difference.
fucking coach, bro. Get it right.
Eating the Detroit True Track differential.
LSD, do you know how an LSD works? Do you know the hydraulic
In
passageways
order to get the massive
and the
four-wheel
actuation
fit,
and
we had to
clamping
remove
force
the
of the
subframe to make
clutches
some
in
modifications.
LSD? Did you calculate what LSD and clamping force of the LSD is best rated for certain horsepower levels? Or did you just put the biggest and the best? Because if you have a high clamping, it's like this. If you put a stage 3 clutch in a 100, this is an analogy. If you put a stage 3 clutch in a 100 horsepower car, you're gonna lose torque and horsepower, dude.
Trash head fits perfect.
In an effort to make this car more comfortable to drive, but also easier to work on, I'm opting for
The
a
only
different
way you
intake
can make
manifold
this
and
better
flat
is
setup.
to run an
Removing the
ethanol or
old S2000
methanol
setup
conversion.
And going for a K-power manifold with a drive-by-wire throttle body.
Then I would say it was a decent
This
build.
is a Camaro throttle pedal. Just because we want more brands in this car.
You put
It
a
is
Camaro.
electronic throttle.
You're proud
So
you put a
when you get
Camaro
rid of the cable
fucking
system from the
box,
car and go to
throttle
electronic,
box
I want this car to
in
be
your
the most
fuck-
enjoyable
like,
driving
what?
experience that I can have.
Because we're gonna change up the throttle.
That's
body,
like
we
me
need to
putting
redo
the
some of
left
the
dormant
flip-flop.
handle
So,
on my
basically we'll recreate
79
this, but, a little
F-150
differently.
if I had
So
one.
we got vibrant,
It's
some
just
new vibrant
stupid.
intercooler piping.
Let me fabricate a way to run this $9 door handle in my piece of shit 79 F-150.
We retuned the new throttle body and left the power level at 400. But since we're feeling a little frisky, I decided that I wanted a flame tune on the car so I could be like all my rotary flame shooting friends. Andy then told me
Launch
that the proper
control
upgrade
in
to
a
the new
rear
diff
wheel
is to
drive
run out
car.
of the shop.
How fucking dumb are you, dude? Launch controls for front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, dumbass. Plus, you made a performance rear-wheel drive car.
But since I had this new flame
Like
shooting
everybody knows, a stick shift, turbo or non-turbo, all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive car, doesn't matter the horsepower, it's the ultimate chassis.
Ben, this oil pan is just pretty nasty looking. There's a lot of debris in here.
Did you use assembly lube when building the motor?
Yeah.
How much assembly lube did you use?
This is the K-Series. So, we'll just buy an engine off of eBay or Facebook.
Which is exactly what we
And you
done.
fucked
So
up
this
the
is
motor.
K20
You fucked
C1
the motor up.
2005 Acura RSX Type S.
The beauty of having a K-Swap
Oh,
is that this
well, at
costs
least
you
they
just
chose the
around
Type S
$1,000.
motor.
We stripped down the donor motor and cleaned out and transferred over the rear-wheel drive specific parts to fit it back in the RX-7.
They built this car for me and I hate it.
So the K-Series is ready to go back in the RX-7. The transmission's on. The turbo is on. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to hear this thing start up and shoot more flames.
Everybody knows that a all-wheel drive conversion kit for the 2013 and up Civic Si is a better chassis than the E36 M3 or the Mazda Miata. It's just hands down better. You don't even gotta modify the motor. You could just do an all-wheel drive conversion and have a decent car. I say the ultimate best bang for your buck build would be an all-wheel drive conversion for the 2013 and up Civic Si with around 400 to 475 horsepower. And that would be enough for me. Yeah, it's a Honda and I'm a Volkswagen guy, but
Gemini in Chrome. Which of these noise canceling headphones is
what am I gonna do? Convert a Passat or Jetta to all-wheel drive? Convert a fucking GTI to all-wheel drive? This shit's been done before. Everybody's like, oh, I love the GTI. GTI this, GTI that. The Beetle's a shorter chassis and it has the same freaking motor with the same capability. That's why people are sleeping on the GSR Beetles. So once the aftermarket builds an all-wheel drive conversion for the GSR Beetle, that's going to outshine the R32 and R36 Passat over in Europe. And we got it right fucking here. And you could get a GSR Beetle for like 15 grand with like 50,000 miles. And everybody's like, oh, Mark 7, Mark 7.5. Heaven forbid I even talk about the Mark 8. Oh, God. I want to throw up when I look at that car.